The story begins in a heavily polluted area of the North Pacific. A team dedicated to studying shark evolution ventures into these waters, only to discover that human-made waste has covered an astonishing 3 million square kilometers. This pollution poses a lethal threat to the marine life inhabiting the region. As Sophia prepares to film a video urging humanity to protect the ocean environment, the team suddenly notices a previously tagged shark nearby. 4 team members quickly gear up and dive in to investigate, unaware that this would be their last dive. Upon entering the water, they encounter a sperm whale entangled in marine debris, but the cause of its death is a massive bite wound on its abdomen. With humans as its only known predators, what creature could inflict such a gruesome injury? As they ponder this mystery, an enormous shark swims slowly towards them. Initially skeptical, the team realizes that this is indeed Lilith, the shark they tagged 2.5 months ago. Back then, Lilith was only 2.5 meters long, but now she has grown to an astounding 7 meters. Such rapid growth is highly unusual. To understand the cause, Sophia needs to collect samples from the shark. A team member bravely attempts to obtain a sample, but startles the shark, triggering a ferocious attack. Hearing her teammates' screams, Sophia knows something is terribly wrong and immediately jumps into the water, despite attempts to stop her. As she dons her diving mask, she is met with the sight of her teammates' severed limbs, realizing they are beyond saving. Desperately looking around for any survivors, Sophia is suddenly confronted by the shark. She fires a shot but misses the vital point. The shark, now entangled in a fishing net, drags Sophia down into the depths. As the pressure mounts, her eardrums burst from the intense pressure. On the brink of being crushed by the deep-sea pressure, Sophia cuts through the net with a small knife and, using her last breath, swims frantically to the surface, breaking through just before losing consciousness. 3 years later, Sophia has abandoned her former job and now works as an educator at an aquarium, teaching students about marine life and the importance of ocean conservation. The traumatic incident had left Sophia reluctant to have any further dealings with sharks. However, as she prepares to leave work one day, a girl named Mika approaches her with news of Lilith. Mika, a member of a civilian marine conservation group, explains that they track and protect sharks using internal beacons. Recently, they discovered that Lilith, the shark that had haunted Sophia's nightmares, had migrated all the way from the North Pacific to the Seine River in the heart of Paris. Upon hearing Mika's claim, Sophia immediately dismissed it as impossible. She argued that the tracking beacon must have fallen off and accidentally drifted to the Seine, since Mako sharks cannot survive in freshwater. However, Mika countered that climate change and ocean pollution could have driven an evolution in sharks, making it possible. Moreover, beacons can't swim upstream on their own, so she was convinced the signal was from Lilith. Mika was worried about Lilith's survival and believed they should help her return to the ocean, which is why she sought out Sophia. Sophia, however, insisted it was too dangerous, especially since they couldn't be certain the shark was actually in Paris. She then turned and left. But back home, she couldn't stop thinking about her lost teammates. Sophia opened an old work chest, reminiscing about her time with her colleagues. Tears welled up as she recalled those memories. After her sorrow subsided, curiosity got the better of her, and she checked Lilith's beacon. To her shock, it confirmed what Mika had said. The shark was indeed in the Seine. Knowing firsthand how dangerous Lilith could be, Sophia grew increasingly concerned. If they didn't deal with Lilith, someone else might fall victim to her. The next morning, Sophia gathered her tracking equipment and headed to the river to investigate. But she received a call from the police. Her fears had come true. A body had been found on the riverbank, likely attacked by a large, aggressive creature. Given their experience with marine life, both Mika and Sophia were called to the scene. The sight of the mutilated corpse convinced Sophia it was a shark attack. At the police station, Sophia urged the chief to deploy a professional team to eliminate the shark. The chief, however, was skeptical, suggesting the man might have been killed by a boat propeller. Sophia stood firm in her assessment, and the chief reluctantly agreed to send officers to the river, accompanied by Sophia and her equipment. Mika followed on her bicycle. Using the beacon's signal, they quickly reached the location. 3 officers suited up and dived into the murky water. Visibility was poor, and although the beacon indicated they were close, they couldn't find anything. Mika, watching from above, grew anxious, fearing for the shark's safety. She called a colleague to remotely disable the beacon, hoping to conceal Lilith's position. Sophia noticed the signal vanishing from her screen and immediately alerted the divers by pulling on the rope. The officers, meanwhile, sensed a large presence nearby and surfaced just in time to avoid an encounter. Though they didn't get a clear view, they all felt it was a large creature. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Sophia knew they had to act quickly and decisively. Using sonar images, the sheriff confirmed the creature was indeed a shark, but suspected Sophia of deliberately turning off the beacon, endangering their team. Frustrated, Sophia stormed ashore, where she spotted a suspicious Mika and quickly realized what had happened. Following her to their workshop, Sophia angrily confronted Mika, accusing her of recklessly endangering lives to protect the shark. While Mika believed the shark wouldn't attack humans, Sophia shared her harrowing experience, warning that this shark was different. They had a heated argument and Sophia left, urging Mika to stay out of the matter. The sheriff returned to the station and immediately informed the chief about the shark. He recommended closing the water gates to trap the shark and preventing anyone from approaching the Seine. However, the chief was hesitant because the city was about to host a triathlon swimming event in the river, an internationally broadcast event involving athletes from around the world. The mayor, who highly valued this event, wouldn't permit closing the Seine. Meanwhile, Mika ignored Sophia's warning and uploaded a video online showing marine animals being hunted, urging people to protect them. She highlighted the presence of a shark in the Seine, calling for its safe passage back to the ocean. The video went viral, catching Sophia's attention, though the shark's beacon remained off. As Sophia prepared to leave work, the sheriff approached her again, apologizing for his earlier suspicions and inviting her to a meeting with the mayor to discuss the shark. Led by the chief, they explained the situation to the mayor, who was dismissive. The mayor argued that the triathlon, a high-profile event crucial for Paris's image, couldn't be canceled due to a single shark. The event had cost 1.7 billion euros in preparations and was a chance for Paris to shine globally. Sophia warned that without action, swimmers could become shark bait, but the mayor insisted the Seine remain open, assigning the chief full responsibility for the shark. Frustrated, the trio left, resolving to catch the shark quickly. With the tracker disabled, they decided to lure the shark out using bait. Just as they were about to execute their plan, Mika's colleague arrived in a panic. Mika, determined to drive the shark back to the ocean, had mobilized dozens of supporters to start their own operation. Concerned about Mika's extreme methods, her colleague sought help, fearing the situation would escalate dangerously. After some effort, Sophia managed to reactivate the tracker, which revealed that the shark had moved into the catacombs of Paris. This area, characterized by a deep shaft and an underground river connected to the Seine, was perilous for humans, accessible only via a narrow artificial canal. A shark attack here would leave no chance for escape. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the sheriff immediately led his team to the location. Meanwhile, Mika had already arrived at the catacombs with her group, planning to use sonar to guide the shark. Just as Mika entered the water, the sheriff and his team arrived, starting to evacuate the area. Sophia urged Mika to get out of the water, but stubbornly, Mika stayed put. Suddenly, the tracker indicated the shark was approaching, and within seconds, Lilith appeared before Mika. To everyone's shock, a baby shark surfaced next to Lilith, indicating that she had given birth, making her more dangerous than ever. Ignoring Sophia's warnings, Mika reached out to touch the baby shark, enraging Lilith. In a desperate move, the sheriff dove in to pull Mika out, but she resisted. Her tragic death served as a stark warning to the shark lovers present, who now panicked. The sheriff was barely pulled out in time by his teammates. The once steadfast supporters of the shark now scrambled to escape, but the narrow, slippery path caused many to fall into the water where the shark showed no mercy. Some managed to be pulled ashore, only to be missing their lower bodies, and the small shaft was quickly stained with blood, further exciting the already bloodthirsty shark. Even one police officer met a grisly end. Enraged, the sheriff fired his gun at the shark, but it was ineffective. The narrow passageway became the only escape route, leading to a frantic rush for safety. This brutal scene brought back haunting memories for Sophia, reminiscent of the disaster 3 years ago. The incident resulted in significant casualties, overwhelming hospitals and filling them with the cries of the injured shark advocates. After the tragedy, the sheriff returned to the site with his team and found the body of a baby shark in the water. They took it to the lab for analysis, and the results shocked Sophia. The sharks had indeed mutated, with head sensors allowing them to adapt to freshwater environments. Lilith's journey up the Seine was driven by the need to reproduce, finding the catacombs a safe breeding ground. Discovering that the shark was female, Sophia performed a procedure to open its abdomen, only to be astounded as a swarm of live baby sharks emerged. This was astonishing because the shark was only 2 months old, far too young to be reproducing under normal circumstances. Sophia deduced that Lilith might be a hermaphrodite, capable of reproducing without a male. If unchecked, these sharks could threaten the entire marine ecosystem. Determined to prevent a catastrophe, Sophia and the sheriff returned to the mayor's office. The mayor, overwhelmed by the death of 12 people in the recent incident, was furious and blamed the police for failing to handle a single shark. With the triathlon just 24 hours away, she decided to conceal the shark attack and assign the military to handle security. Sophia feared this approach would lead to more casualties. She urged the mayor to cancel the event and reveal the truth. But the mayor, enraged, dismissed them. Disheartened, the sheriff wanted to wash his hands of the shark problem. But Sophia insisted they couldn't ignore it. The mutated sharks posed a global threat if they reached the ocean. Convinced, the sheriff rallied his team at the station. The plan was to collapse the underground river connecting the shaft to the Seine, trapping the sharks. With only hours left before the race, they split into 2 teams. Sophia, the sheriff, and 2 others would plant explosives in the underground river, while the remaining 2 would wait at the Seine's exit in a boat. Meanwhile, the triathlon's opening ceremony commenced with the mayor delivering an impassioned speech before signaling the start of the race. Unaware of the lurking danger, athletes dove into the water. Sophia's team faced difficulties as they encountered more sharks than expected. To lure them into one place, Sophia activated an infrasound emitter in the nest's center. After planting the bombs, Lilith remained elusive until she ambushed a teammate, causing chaos as baby sharks swarmed him and the detonator fell into the river. The team, fearing for their lives, used flares to fend off the sharks. One teammate bravely retrieved the detonator but was attacked as he pressed the button. With the bombs about to explode, Sophia pulled the distraught sheriff to safety. The explosion ensued just as a mass of sharks converged on them. The 2 outside rescuers, anxious for their teammates' return, were relieved when Sophia and the sheriff emerged unscathed. The explosion sealed the sharks within the underground river, preventing a broader disaster. The triathlon continued with the military ensuring the athletes' safety, unaware of how close they came to danger.